hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm crying. Just kidding. It's Annie. And today we are back with another installment of our March Madness with the Elite Eight.
Very
That's what
exciting.
it would be in sports terms.
Yeah.
So, didn't have to Google that at all.
I knew.
You knew. I did not.
We just double checked with Google.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. But if you did not join us for the last episode, Alex and I are going through a list of 16 of our favorite joint read completed series. So as long as we've both read them and they're completed and they're one of our favorites, it's on this list. So we are currently in the process of trying to dwindle it down, and it's been a little bit stressful.
It has.
It's been a hard decision making so far.
This time we're going to focus on our favorite moments from some of these series to really dive deeper into the comparison.
Yeah, and I think that it also just really speaks to how difficult this has been, that we both have a glass of wine.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully if you don't already have some sort of drink of choice in front of you, you get one of your own. And then you can join us in possibly one of the hardest decisions we've had to make in a while. So let's go ahead. We're going to dive right into our first pairing. So we are going to be dwindling down between Taming the Tiger and Vampire Bureau and Ghost Aki.
Yes, we are.
So here's the thing. I couldn't dwindle it down to one for like any of these because all of the stories are great.
I did because I'm a rule follower.
Well, good for you, goody two shoes. So when it came down to favorite moments, there were a couple of different things that just like really stand out to me in the story. One of which is the relationship that Baum and his brother Muhu have. I know that they go the majority of their life separated, and it's really interesting to see how their, brotherly bond develops, because they do so at a distance for a really long time. And even more so, like, Muhu is just calling him. He's like, oh, he must be talking about nothing, because Baum didn't have a name when they were in the village.
Yeah.
But you see them grow over the course of the story to be, like, bickering siblings. And I really love the energy. Like, it just made me happy to see Baum have, like, even more connections. Because I do feel like Gumhu also kind of gets that as well. Like, realizes that he and his little brother are closer. And so, like, they have each other, and because of that, they're able to kind of build a world for themselves. It's just really cute.
Yeah.
So, that was one of them. What was yours?
So, mine from Taming the Tiger is what I'm calling the bride moment.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Gyumhu and Baum are having an intimate moment, and Gyumhu's cousin is coming in, and he's trying to catch them so that he can oust Gyumhu from the inheritance, basically. And his younger brother and a Gisang, who is friends with him, works with him, they help him delay the cousin and then create a cover story for the two of them. And this is one of my favorite moments because I feel like this is one where you really see them starting to fall in love, where they've gone from, oh, this is a sexual relationship, to, oh, we're in love. And it's also good to see other people supporting them, because neither of them have had any support in their lives. And so to see other people saying, we recognize that you guys love each other and we're going to help you keep this under wraps, because we know that it can't get out, otherwise it will be bad for everyone.
Yeah.
And we're gonna help you out. And I just love that.
I do too. There's also this moment, and I did show it to you, where Baum wants to apply medicine to one of Gumhu's injuries, and he drops it in the pond.
Yeah.
And so he jumps in to look for it. He's like, oh, just wait. Like, I got it. I'm gonna find it. And Gumhu's kind of upset. He's like, I just want to spend time together, and you're searching through the water. So he like splashes him and kind of playfully is like laughing about it. And then Baum splashes him too. And when his guard comes in, he's like, hey, Gumhu. And then he just immediately turns around to give them their privacy. But they're just so happy.
Yeah.
Like spending time together and just doing like normal, everyday things instead of like all of the tragedy that surrounds them all of the time. So yeah, it's just so beautiful to like find those moments in these stories. I just love this story in general. I mean, it is just kind of them against the world. And I just love that.
I do too.
Okay, so when it comes to Vampire Beru and Ghost Aki, what was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment for them is one of the in-scene moments. And so this is when Beru fixes Aki's pendant, and they promise each other that they are going to stay together and always be there for each other and support each other. And so Aki, who has had like just such a hard time when it comes to family because he tried so hard to get his mother to interact with him, and she just wouldn't because she was trying to protect her own heart. And so Aki says that he finally knows that Beru is his home. And I just love that sentiment of trying to piece together your own family when the people who are supposed to be there for you let you down.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to form your own bonds and find your own way and find the people who are your people. And Aki and Beru have found each other, and it's just beautiful.
It's so beautiful. I do love it. I love Beru and Aki's interactions. I will say, like, the majority of the things, again, that I gravitate towards are just, like, how wholesome their relationship is together. Like, not even romantically, because it's really not. It's almost more of that platonic soulmate kind of a romance than anything else. But the moments that I really gravitate towards are, you know, right towards the beginning when Aki and Beru go together and they go to Beru's dwelling. Beru is bent on making sure that Aki feels welcome. And he does kind of keep to himself, like he's used to being alone. So Beru starts to get really nervous and anxious about it. And he ends up making them little dolls of each other so that they can play with the dolls and have something to do while they're interacting. The dolls themselves are adorable because Beru and Aki are adorable, but also just the sentiment behind it. It's just so heartwarming that he's looking out for Aki. Like, he's been desperate to find this person and find someone to be there with. And he's just trying so hard for it.
I do love how hard he tries to make Aki feel comfortable and, like, goes to all the trouble of, like, with the rooms, too, where all of the rooms are dusty. So he's like, you're going to have to share a room with me.
No, my room's clean. It just is so sweet. There's also the part where Beru neglects to continue drinking blood or drinking from the blood flowers. And mostly because he's just having such a good time with Aki and they've been going through so much together that, like, he kind of puts himself on the back burner. But so he transforms into, like, this full, like, stereotypical vampire form. You see him with his fangs and the black and red wings, and his hair is bright red. And you just see him bawling, crying about it. And Aki comforts him and does take him to go and drink from the blood flowers and help to recover. But you do see it kind of quells the fears that Beru has as well, where he's so afraid of being alone and being abandoned. And he's tried so hard to keep Aki active and make sure that he's, like, happy and okay. And this is, like, a really big turning point where Aki's like, you matter. Like, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. And Beru's like, okay.
He's such a cute little vampire, too.
I know.
His little fangs and his little wings.
We've got a soft spot for the vampires, I think. So, for sure. Oh my gosh. So when it comes to dwindling down between the two, I'm just so torn.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost the exact opposite for me. So, like, you have Taming the Tiger, which is a tragic story with love in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vampire Beru is like this lovely, heartwarming story.
Mm-hmm.
With like a little bit of like a tragic background.
Yeah.
So it's like they're inverted.
Yeah. There is the tragedy in both, which I love, and they do both have really good endings too. So it's a hard choice. They're both such good art styles too. Like very different, but both like really, really good in their own respective ways.
That standard like Brothers Without a Tomorrow art is just always so beautiful.
There are just so many panels that you can just stop and stare at. And Vampire Beru and Ghost Aki just like puts out a very cozy, comfy, like it feels heartwarming. It looks heartwarming.
Yeah, and the way that they play with the colors too. So like the red and the blue and the way that they reincorporate it and everything just looks like it's glowing.
And soft.
It's just like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like if I'm really digging deep, I just think I have to go with Vampire Beru and Ghost Aki.
I think I do as well.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking. No. Okay. Well,
we've made our first decision.
We made our first decision. So the next grouping of the two is going to be Bloody Sweet versus The Reaper and the Waiting. There are so many memorable moments within these stories. But let's start out with Bloody Sweet. The first thing that comes to mind for me is there's a moment where Shin is confiding in Fetishu. She's kind of like asked to kind of get away. And she's talking to him and she just breaks down. Like she's in absolute tears. She says, I never asked to be a shaman. Like I'm bullied relentlessly for something I can't control and for something I never even asked for in the first place. And I just feel helpless. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, she's made comments about like how she hates people and how the anger builds up. And you see that Fetishu relates this to his own experiences. And you see his past of having someone torn from him and having almost this bloodlust about it and trying to get revenge. But in getting revenge, he still doesn't feel any better. And so he helps to comfort Shin Neirim, but also says, let me be angry for you. And it's best for you to, find your way forward. Like this isn't going to be the rest of your life. You're not alone. And Shin Neirim's quote is just, thank you for being angry for me. And it's just so sweet to see her have someone to lean on. Like they're both outsiders. And just to see them have each other is just so heartwarming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
It is beautiful. Mine is like a similar heartwarming, them kind of leaning on each other moment. But it's pretty early on. It's one of their early interactions, just after Fetishu has come home with her. So she makes a comment just about how, oh, if I have to do that, I'm going to die. Something that, we've all probably said when we're being a little bit dramatic.
Yeah.
But Fetishu takes it so seriously and tells her, don't say you'll die so carelessly. And he's just like, he knows how short mortal lives are, and so he's very serious about it. And they kind of dig a little bit deeper, and Fetishu realizes that she's lonely, and so he's comforting her that she has been lonely for so long and she doesn't have friends at school. And she is saying that the reason that she doesn't have friends is because she's different. They think she's a witch and she is just the outsider. And Fetishu tells her, no, they're just jealous because you're beautiful. And then you see the next day when she goes into school, she's in the bathroom and she's looking in the mirror and she's thinking about what Fetishu has told her the day before. And it's like the first time that she's starting to get some self-confidence. And it's just like a super sweet moment where she's really starting to grow and she's believing Fetishu, and it's just like super, super cute, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's super sweet. I will say, as like an aside, additional favorite part, if you own the in-print version of the series, there's also an additional epilogue episode that I really feel like, I mean, the series already wrapped up so well, and I loved everything about it. But like this ending to the series it really just tied everything together.
It was beautiful.
It was really beautiful. It made me cry. And I don't want to give too many spoilers in case you haven't bought it and it's something that you're interested in. But it is one of those stories that just has such a cathartic ending as well.
Yeah.
So highly recommend.
Yeah.
As for Reaper in the Waiting, there are so many moments to love about this one too. I think that the first one that comes to mind for me is when Wei Li, or the Waiting, is following the Reaper around, and he just kind of casually brings up in conversation, you know, once you're all done with your job, you're gonna get to choose whether or not you want to remember your past life and, you know, kind of go back to it some way, or, you know, maybe you want to start fresh. Do you, like, I don't know what you want to do? And the Reaper's like, I don't know, starting fresh would probably be good. And the Waiting just looks mortified. And he goes, what if someone was like, I don't know, waiting for you, and like they really depended on you wanting to know about your past and going back to them, and kind of like freaks out a little bit. And the Reaper's like, okay, I guess I didn't consider that. I just love them and their interactions, and like how awkward it is in the beginning, because the Reaper's like, why are you following me everywhere? And that's a great question that he can't answer. So yeah.
And mine kind of ties in with the not being able to answer part. So my favorite scene from this is the ending. I absolutely love how this one wraps up. So we see that as the Reaper is getting close to the end of his contract, his time being a Reaper, he is saying goodbye to their dog companion and Waiting. And he notices Waiting kind of petting the dog and talking to it, and he has this flashback memory of his past life where Wei Li did the same thing with another dog, and so he kind of questions, why am I having this memory? He asks Waiting, who are you? And Waiting is not able to say, he's not allowed to, so he says, you know, I can't tell you who I am, but just know that I love you. And then we see that the Reaper is going, and he is being told, you know, you've completed your service. Now that you're done, we will grant you a wish. And he's kind of struggling because he's thinking, okay, I don't feel like I've been given enough context to know if I want to go back to remembering everything or if I want to forget and start over. And so he's really struggling with that. And so it cuts right as he's saying, okay, this is what I want to do. It leaves it off on a slight cliffhanger. But then, of course, it immediately takes you to present day in modern times. And we see Wei Li and Ruo. They are both reincarnated as modern characters. Wei Li works in a flower shop, and Ruo finds his blog that he wrote and is like, okay, I'm gonna seek him out now. And Wei Li is just waiting again. He's like, when is he gonna come and find me? And so we see their meeting again in modern times. They both remember everything that happened, and so they get to reconnect. And unfortunately, there is a girl there who is very close and comfortable with Ruo. And Wei Li is kind of like, oh, I didn't realize that you were in a relationship. It's okay, I'll just leave now. And so then they both have this little moment where they realize that it's the cousin's girlfriend. And they're like, no, I'm single.
Yeah, super inconspicuous. Like yelling it, I'm single.
But then he goes and he tells his brother that he's going to stay with Whaley because he's found his long-lost friend and they're going to catch up and reconnect. And they're absolutely going to fall in love and be together forever.
Oh my gosh, I know. Also, adding to that last moment, there is a part there where Whaley finally sees Ruo's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And in their previous life, Ruo's brother had his head cut off. And Whaley has always just kind of kept it on his shoulders. Like, this is my fault because I led my dad to him. Like, this is my doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I had stayed away, like, this wouldn't be happening. And when Ruo talks to Whaley, he's like, yeah, I knew it wasn't you. Like, I knew it wasn't your fault. I knew you wouldn't do that to me. And, like, that's why I came back. Mm-hmm. Because I knew that, like, there was love there and it was worth it. And just seeing the brother happy and healthy and with a head on his shoulders and being with Ruo again, you just see the relief and, like, all of the tension kind of leaving Wei-Li. Like, even in being reincarnated, like, up until this point, he hasn't been able to breathe.
Yeah.
And you just see, like, him finally being able to move forward and find his own peace with it all. It's so beautiful.
Well, and he was waiting before as a spirit, and then he gets reincarnated. He has to wait again.
I know.
He knows. And it's just so beautiful.
It really is. I will say, out of the two of them, it's so hard.
It really is. I think for me, the Reaper and the Waiting wins by like a hair. And that hair is just that I feel like the art style that this creator has is just one of the most unique that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. And I love it.
I know. I love them both so much. I'd have to agree that the art style for the Reaper and the Waiting is definitely more unique. Oh my gosh. Just break my heart. Why don't you? I'm going to also go with the Reaper and the Waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page.
Okay, so our next two that we have are Murderous Llewellyn's Candlelit Dinner and Traces of the Sun.
Oh boy.
Some of my all-time absolute favorites.
All of them are.
All of them are, but these especially. One is one of the ones that I've most recently read. One is one that I read when we first started reading webcomics.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I am going to start off with Murderous Llewellyn's Candlelit Dinner.
Okay.
My favorite scene for this is the ending, surprising no one. But I in our notes, I wrote down just one quote, and the quote is, "There was never a moment when I didn't love you." And so, like, some background for this, because that doesn't totally make sense without some context.
Yeah, Alex and I just looking across at each other, practically
Crying.
in tears. Yeah.
This did make me cry when I was reading it. But essentially what happens is, in earlier episodes, we get to see a flashback from Llewellyn's point of view. And he is he's in a prison. No one treats him like he's a person. They all refer to him as a dog. And Siobhan comes to work at this prison and treats him like a human.
Yeah.
And gets him comfortable with him. So they spend time together. He trusts Siobhan. And eventually it kind of comes to a point to where Siobhan is made to stay in the cell with Llewellyn. Mm-hmm. And it kind of drives him crazy.
Yeah.
Because what Llewellyn doesn't know is that he's struggling, Siobhan is struggling with trying to not hurt Llewellyn, but also save himself. And it doesn't seem like he can do both.
Yeah.
From his point of view. And so eventually, while he's staying in the cell, he does get to a point where he feels like he can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so he gets out of the cell and he goes and he's going to tell the warden I quit. I'm not doing it. I have to leave.
Yeah.
And when he gets up and leaves, he leaves the door open. And Llewellyn wakes up. He's alone. He's freaking out a little bit because he hates being alone. He hates when Siobhan leaves him and he can't see him. And so he goes a little crazy and he runs out of the cell and he's trying to find Siobhan. All of the guards who run into him are chasing him because he's a big threat to all of them. I think in the beginning they say he's killed like 20 guards. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to capture him again.
Yeah.
And they finally catch up to Siobhan. And when they do, Llewellyn is talking to Siobhan and says that he loves him. Mm-hmm. And Siobhan kind of laughs at him a little bit and says, like, you know, well, why don't we just go make a family? And is treating it like it's a crazy idea that Llewellyn would love him. And he tells Llewellyn that there was never a moment that he loved Llewellyn. Mm-hmm. And this is just devastating to Llewellyn. He's absolutely crushed. He ends up doing what the warden wants him to do and being his loyal dog, as he was, you know, trained to do his whole life. Mm-hmm. And the reason that he does this is because he's just kind of given up that Siobhan is gone and he is never coming back. He tells Llewellyn that he's never going to come back. And so where this quote comes in is at the very end of the series, where the warden from the prison that has been closed down finds out that Llewellyn is still alive, goes to Llewellyn and captures him, takes him back to the prison, and Siobhan is coming to save him. Mm-hmm. And Siobhan gets shot in the process, and we know that Siobhan has had his memories erased, so he doesn't remember his time at the prison the first time, and Llewellyn knows this. But then his memories he remembers again because the hypnosis that he was under is broken, and so he remembers everything. And after he gets shot, he's trying to tell Llewellyn that he remembers it all and that he's sorry. And he doesn't know how to convey all of this because he's scared that he's dying. Mm-hmm. And so the way that he goes to convey this is to just reverse the message that he told Llewellyn all of those years ago and to say that he loved him the whole time. And it's just absolutely one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen. It's heartbreaking. Like I said, I cried when I was reading this. I mean, I was already crying, but when this part happened, I just sobbed. It was like I was at Hadestown again.
Well, we all know how that went down. No, I mean, honestly, it is just gut-wrenching. Yeah. The entire situation with Llewellyn in the prison is awful. And on top of that, you do have just the tragedy that he's finally hearing these words that he's probably been longing for forever, while he's also terrified that he's about to lose the person he loves right in front of him. It's so sad. It could make me cry right now. But when I come to think of all of the different things that I love, it's really hard to narrow it down. And I try to focus again on more of those positive moments. By really positive, I mean, it's a little bit of a gray area.
This really says, I think, something about our personalities and what we love in stories, because I feel like all of mine are like, this broke my heart and I was so sad. And you're like, I tried to find really happy things.
Like, do I love the story as a whole?
Yeah.
With tragedy and all? Yeah. I think that it wouldn't be the story without it. But when I think of the things that I love to go back to and remember, like, yes, there are very impactful moments you have to remember, but there are, like, some fun ones. And that's kind of what I gravitate towards. Like the fun mom energy.
And I'm like, I want to cry again.
Well, for me, it was definitely first and foremost when Llewellyn helps to catch Siobhan's stalker. It turns out to be his ex, August. And when he catches him, Llewellyn's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to, like, you know, kill him? I could send him to the circus. You know, what do we want to do? And Siobhan's like, okay, cut it out. You're not killing people anymore. And you're not gonna sell him off. So, like, just get rid of him. Make sure he doesn't come back. And Llewellyn's like, fine. Like, rolls his eyes. He's like, I'd do it. But
I do love how they're plotting all of this in front of August, too.
Yeah. August is like, oh my God, I picked the wrong house to creep into.
He's like, at least Siobhan is not going to let him kill me or sell me.
Yeah, that puts a lot of faith in Llewellyn to have to listen to Siobhan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good on Llewellyn. He's faithful, that's for sure.
He is.
But I mean, that among the moment when you find out why Llewellyn is eating all of the onions.
I do feel like that's kind of a sad one, though.
It is a sad one, but like, it's kind of just one of those like main plot twists where you're like, it starts clicking.
Yeah.
You know, like that was one of the main ones for me. I'm like, oh my God, like this is what shaped him to be who he is today.
Yeah.
Onions and all.
Onions and all. Well, to me, that part is just so sad because it's like he's trying to get Siobhan to remember so hard.
Oh my gosh, I know. He's just peeling onions on the stairs like a weirdo.
I do love where you see that he finds Siobhan. He's like, okay, he lives in this apartment. I'm going to try and run into him. It doesn't work. So he's like, all right, I'm going to sit on the stairs and peel onions and then I'll have to run into him.
It's true. But also, there's just something so cathartic about all the revenge that Llewellyn's able to get.
Yeah.
And while I don't condone murder, because I don't.
Let it be known.
I don't. Let it be known. I don't condone it. But Llewellyn can do no wrong. So do with that what you will.
He's a vigilante, really.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I love him and he's perfect.
And they were bad people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. So, okay, out of all of them, now we have to go to Traces of the Sun.
Yep. What is your favorite moment from Traces of the Sun?
Well, I think just in keeping that, you know, positivity going, I gravitate a lot towards the fluff. Mm-hmm. The fluff here is precious. You just can't deny it. Hyeon, throughout a lot of the story, is a lovable bastard. Mm-hmm. And he has a really hard time. Like, he's so selfish that he has such a hard time connecting with other people around him. But he sees Yiseon happy for, like, the first moment when he's finally, like, integrated into Cord. And they're all working together. And he's like, I want to make him happy. Like, I want him to smile more. So he's like, what do you like? And he's trying to get to know him, but it's kind of abrasive.
Yeah.
But Hyeon asks Yiseon, what do you like? What are you, you know, what do you enjoy? And Yiseon's like, I like the smell of fresh bread in the morning. So Hyeon, you know, just casually rents out a bakery.
I am gonna stick up for Hyeon, as I do, and say that he does not know how to show affection at all.
Not in a normal way.
Hence the bakery and the library.
But you know what? The library
that he gets him. I mean, great gift.
Yeah, top tier.
Absolutely love it. But I feel like part of that comes from, too, Hyeon has never had anyone in his family show him love or affection either.
Yeah.
So he's never learned how to give love and affection a normal way. And so he's like, okay, I have money. That fixes problems. I'm going to fix problems with money.
All right. You know what? And he does. But there's also just something so important and like core to the story of watching the moment when they're in the final dungeon and you see Yiseon asking for Hyeon to neutralize his powers. And when he does, you see that Yiseon has been planning to basically end his life there. Mm-hmm. Like, this has been like a long planned, long standing goal for him. And just to see the horror on Hyeon's face and to see Hyeon diving into the water after him, going like, I'm not letting you leave. Like, you can't leave me. You're coming with me. It's just so beautiful. It is the moment where you realize like there is true love and care there. And like, it speaks so deeply about the hurt that Yiseon has been suffering silently by himself through the whole series. So it really is just like that climactic moment of just seeing it all. Like, I mean, just like the buildings around them, everything's kind of crumbling.
Yeah.
And in the moment, you see what's most important to all of them. So I love it.
This is one of the best endings in a series that we've read. And my favorite moment is kind of just an extension of your second favorite moment there. And it's right after Yiseon and Hyeon have jumped off of this ledge of the building and into the water. And so it's after they've been rescued and Yiseon has been knocked out and he's been asleep. And when he comes to again, Hyeon is there with him and Hyeon begs him to love him and to stay with him. And Yiseon kind of realizes at this moment, like, oh, he's stuck there. Like, he thinks that this is going to happen again. And I need to reassure him that that's not going to happen. And so Yiseon kind of explains his feelings and how he was feeling and why he felt like he had to do that. And so you see that he is thinking that in the first Great Dungeon, his parents were taken away and all of his friends' parents were taken away when they were on a class trip, and the first dungeon hit right on their hometown, so all of their families died. And so they only had each other. And then in the second Great Dungeon, all of his friends died, as we know, and that's why they all turned into zombies. And so Yiseon kind of thinks that this last Great Dungeon that they're fighting, he should just disappear with it because it seemed like a logical progression to him.
Yeah.
He was just so guilty about being the only one left and about what happened to his friends. And so he kind of explains all of this to Hyeon, and it's really like a true moment where Hyeon is not a kind of selfish idiot. And he listens to Yiseon, and Yiseon even tells Hyeon that he feels safe with him. And that he made him want to keep living. And it was a turning point for him.
Yeah.
So I just love that moment. And then is kind of like a mini moment.
A mini moment?
A mini moment after that is a cathartic moment where we see Hyeon's brother being punished for all of his wrongdoings. And Hyeon goes in and is confronting him. And his brother throws a chair at him, and he gets a cut on his head. He's bleeding a little bit. And he takes this opportunity for truly what he wants, and that's Yiseon's attention and affection. And so he goes out to Yiseon and is like, look at what my brother did. I've got a cut on my head. Won't you take care of me? And he's got like the big doe eyes, and he just looks so sad and kind of pathetic. But that's his goal. He wants Yiseon to feel bad for him and to take care of him. And
he's milking it.
He's milking it. And it kind of works. Yiseon is like putting up with it, and he knows what Hyeon is doing, but he's giving into it anyways because he loves him.
Yeah.
And it's just adorable.
I know. They really are. Well, unfortunately, we have to decide between the two.
It is hard, but I do feel like Murderous Llewellyn has... It made me cry more.
Well, for Alex, that's a plus.
That is a plus. And it's such a unique story. Like, we have read multiple stories with hunters and rankings and those kind of battle dungeons. I have never read another story like Murderous Llewellyn.
Yeah, it is just I mean, start to finish has you on the edge of your seat. And it is just heartwarming and heartbreaking. And the mystery surrounding it is just so great.
Yeah.
Like every new episode is a new part of the adventure and you're piecing it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be Murderous Llewellyn for me.
Okay, so we've got 3 out of our top 4. It's time to pick our last one.
All right. Well, our last pairing is Broken Melody and Painter of the Night. These are both tragic stories.
They are.
I'm pretty sure that that's a couple of the ones that we have now left over.
I think that we like a good tragedy.
Yeah. I like a good tragedy as long as it comes back around, usually.
I do like there to be a happy ending. We all know I love a hurt comfort. I want the maximum amount of pain.
Before the comfort.
And then some comfort at the end.
Some comfort. I'm like, I want all the comfort, and then like maybe they were slightly inconvenienced.
And I'm like, maybe I want one of the characters to be kidnapped 3 times.
Well, then do I have a story for you? So we're going to break down favorite moments for our last 2 and then narrow it down from there. We'll start with Broken Melody. It is such a beautiful story about growth. I know it's a coming of age story, but it really does just like show all these different dimensions of what it's like to grow up, what it's like to grow up in an abusive or neglectful home, what it's like to make your peace with that or find your way without all of the support or finding support elsewhere. And honestly, with all of that, I'm sure my favorite moment could have been so many other things, but for me, it really boils down to when Minhee goes after Sundara. And I'll get into that. Sundara is the terrible, toxic character that makes Minhee's life a living hell.
Yeah.
For like all of the first season. She's just an entitled piano student who wants to be better than Minhee and feels threatened. And so in order to keep herself at the top spot, she decides that she's going to tell her friends to kind of rough Minhee up a little bit, make her life a living hell. They harass her constantly, kind of beat her up. And it's all just to kind of scare her into submission. Well, they do these auditions. They both end up getting a spot to go to this like local concert that they're putting on and performance. And she's getting really upset that Minhee is stealing the spotlight. And this is after she's already convinced her friends to try to push Minhee down the stairs, which they mistakenly push Minhee's friend Sohee down the stairs instead because she was wearing Minhee's sweatshirt. So all of this comes to a head. All of Sundara's terrible, terrible behavior kind of comes to light in front of everybody. And Minhee goes after her to get a confession, get closure, but not for herself, but for her friends. Like in this moment, I loved it so much because it felt very cathartic. I hate Sundara. They did a great job at making a terrible character. But because it shows that like Minhee finally has something she wants to protect. Like she's put up with all of the bullying and everything else for so long from her mom and from the kids at school. And it's really her putting her foot down and showing what's important to her right now, which is the few people that she's got that show her that love and support. And her and Sohee's friendship in that moment is just so beautiful. And I loved every second of it.
Yeah. I think that's a great moment. I mean, this whole story is just so good. And I feel like it is a really good balance of like character growth and tragedy, but then it has those cathartic moments. It has a beautiful ending. Like you get to see them grow so much, and it's just so beautiful. My favorite moment from this is probably not surprising. It is the end scene of this series where we see it is 4 years after Minhee wins that piano competition. And she is a famous pianist again, and she's traveling the world. and performing everywhere she goes. And Mr. Yun has moved back to the town where they both lived in. And he has his home with the piano outside. And he is talking to one of his former students as well. And they're just kind of reminiscing on how he ended up back here and that he has moved back here even though Minhee had such bad memories from this place, because this is the place where her dad left her. This is the place where her mother neglected her. This is the place where all of the bullying happened. Mm-hmm. And why would they want to stay here? But you kind of just see that they have formed their own little family. And Minhee is starting to reminisce on all of this when she comes back home. And she says that the place that he lives gives her a reason to live, gives her a place to come back to, and is her home. So it's another one of those stories where you find comfort in the people who support you and the people who understand you. Both of them have been broken and abandoned by the people who are supposed to always stand by their side. And so they have that connection and that understanding, and it really helps them be that home and comfort for each other that they didn't get elsewhere. And I just think it's so beautiful.
Yeah, the found family is always just so heartwarming at the end.
I love a found family.
Well, it brings us to our last story, which is Painter of the Night. And while there are so many moments I know that we love, I'm curious what your favorite moment is.
Okay, so my favorite moment from Painter of the Night is another one that made me cry. And this is the moment where Sung-ho and Nakyum are in the market. And they have been shopping around all day. It's wintertime. They're just looking around. And they run into No Name, who is the assassin who has previously kidnapped Nakyum and beaten him and tried to kill him and taken him hostage. And Nakyum, understandably, panics and goes into the fetal position. He's screaming, he's upset, and Sung-ho comes over and tries to calm him down and comfort him. And seeing that it's Sung-ho is what really calms him down and helps him get out of the instant panic that he was in.
Yeah.
And then Sung-ho takes him to a nearby storefront where they're just sitting on this patio. And Sung-ho tells the owner that they'll leave soon. And he kind of says, no, it's okay. Take your time. And so they're just sitting there. Sung-ho is sitting down on the porch. And Nakyum is sitting in his lap. And he's just trying to comfort him and make him feel better. And while they're sitting there at another stall, there is a man trying to sell a music box. And so he has the music box open and on display. And it catches Nakyum's attention. It's helping him relax a little bit and bringing him back to himself and comforting him. And so Sung-ho buys him the music box. And they take it home. They go back. And then you see just a little bit forward where there's a merchant that comes to sell stuff directly to Sung-ho, and he asks who the music box is for, like what woman is the music box for? And Nakyum says, no, this was a gift to me. And the merchant's like, yeah, right, okay. And then Sung-ho comes over and basically kind of supports Nakyum and says, like, yes, this is for him, without saying it directly, but just makes it known that Nakyum is the person in his life who he cares about and loves. And it's just, like, such a beautiful part of the story. I absolutely just love the care that he shows Nakyum in this part. And we get to see an adorable, embarrassed Nakyum when Sung-ho is claiming him in front of everyone. And it's just so beautiful.
I know. I love this story. It's hard for the ending to not be my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because it is so beautiful to see the story wrapped up and see that Sung-ho doesn't care about his status. He goes to like this small village to become a governor. And the only thing that matters to him is that it's where Nakyum is. Mm-hmm. And the surprise that Nakyum has when the governor summons him to get his portrait, and it's Sung-ho asking for his portrait to be done. Like, it's just so heartwarming. It's the comfort that you've needed the entire series.
It's so beautiful.
After everything heartbreaking that they've been through. But honestly, there is just one moment that lives in my head, and it's the two of them. Like, in the moment, Nakyum is kind of passed out, and he's in and out of it. He's in Sung-ho's father's care, who's irate because Sung-ho has gone off on a rampage and killed people, and he's wanting to put an end to it, he says. And Nakyum is kind of in and out of consciousness, and the thing that comes to his mind is this moment he has with Sung-ho where he's just saying his name over and over, just Nakyum over and over. And so Nakyum asks him, "Why are you doing this?" And Sung-ho goes, "I just wanted to hear your name." And Nakyum repeats it back and says, "Sung-ho, I just wanted to hear yours too." And so they're just saying each other's name, and they're just desperately in love. It is just so sweet. It's like bright and sunny, and they're smiling. And it is just absolutely breathtaking.
It is beautiful. And I love, too, that is the moment where Sung-ho's father asks him to paint an erotic painting. And instead of doing that, he paints that moment that you were talking about. And he's like, "This is the moment that comes to my mind and that I think of and that I love." And it's so beautiful.
It is. Well, unfortunately, we have to choose between the two.
I know. I have to say Painter of the Night. It is one of my absolute favorites. We love a historical story.
I know.
It looks like a painting.
Yeah, it really does. This story, I mean, they're both so beautiful, but I have to go with Painter of the Night too.
Well, we've done it.
For better or worse, for our mental stability, we have done it. That was not easy.
So for our final four, our next battle is going to be Vampire Beirut and Ghost Aki versus Murderous Llewellyn's Candlelit Dinner, and The Reaper in the Waiting versus Painter of the Night.
Stop it. Well, I guess we could just give up here right now.
We act like we're surprised, like we don't know how a bracket works.
It just becomes harder and harder. Like I'm sitting here having hot flashes. But, oh my goodness. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this very difficult journey. We're looking forward to talking through the final four with you all next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.